Good afternoon. I'm Elisa. Welcome to Elisa Maria Designs, and today is, well, Confetti Chaos, but it's also a Tuesday, so it is Tip Tuesday. There's going to be plenty of tips in this area of confetti that I'm doing, but there's also going to be a special video just for a tip that I've been using for a while that you're probably not even aware of. I don't think that I ever explained it to you guys what I've been doing, and I think it's a really interesting one. I wanted the first Tip Tuesday to be a really interesting one and one that would make you curious about tips in diamond painting. So you guys voted, I believe, for Throwback Thursday, what it is that you wanted me to pull out of the archives, which is my art drawer over there, and work on. And it's always a battle between Night's Rest and Rico. Night's Rest and Rico. And poor Bud here doesn't get any love. So there's the real Bud. Don't know what he's doing right now. And here's my Bud. This is Peggy Collins by Diamond Art Club. He is a beauty, and as you go through him, now I did this without my technique that I use for confetti, and this is why it's taken me so long to get this one completed, is because I would get very overwhelmed by it. When you're looking at this, let's look at it here. Let's look at the canvas. So when you're looking at the canvas, let's point the light down to it too. When you're looking at the canvas, there's these kind of like, it's almost like the Klimt, but not like the Klimt. There's like little, it reminds me of like little mosaics that you're actually doing. So I was getting overwhelmed by a 10 by 10 square. And so this is why I think on one recording, I just did the eyes, and I was taking bits and pieces of this canvas to try and get it done, because it is overwhelming to me to have all these different symbols in one little square, an average square that we take 10 by 10 centimeters and complete it. But when I stepped back and devised a system for myself that makes painting confetti easier for me and understandable for my brain, this is the way I diamond paint all the time now. I use this technique all the time. No matter what canvas, washi tape on my new trays that I got from Amazon. These are Art Dot, and they actually interconnect together, so you can make yourself a little palette. I know a lot of you use the diamond painting light boards that hold your canvas up. I do not, and a lot of people stand. Like, a lot of people don't actually sit at their desk and diamond paint. Sometimes they like to get up and stand, and like this would be a way so you don't lean over your desk and you're trying to pick drills up. That's impossible. These interconnect together so you can hold them like a little palette. I like that. I'm just showing them to you. I don't use them that way. The block that I'm going to be working on, I'm going to pick up where I left off. Am I in the shot? Okay. So it was actually 2 blocks, but when I looked at the area that I was going to be painting, here's tip number 1. And this is something that I learned from Maria Thomas, who is the founder of Zentangle. I actually went out to Providence, Rhode Island, and got certified in Zentangle. And the first thing, her husband Rick comes in with the Zen part, and Maria is the tangle part. Tangles are what she would design for whatever project she was doing in calligraphy. So that's called a tangle, and Zen, and her husband Rick is the Zen part. So that's a little information on that. So Maria and Rick, before they sat down to do anything, they would have an appreciation for what it is that they were working on or about to work on. And I carried that with me through years. And while I am very interested in what everyone else's creative process is, I'm very easily distracted. And right now I have a piece of washi tape that's sticking up, and I'm going to glue it down with this glue stick. And that's okay, because this is going to go right into my Tip Tuesday very well. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but I am gluing this down. It's sticking up. Washi tape is a distraction for me. So there's a little hint to what today's Tip Tuesday is going to be about. great glue stick, by the way. Love it, and it has a nice scent to it. It's really, really like, it almost smells like perfume. It's like a floral scent. Anyway, here's something, that is something that I learned, but it was something that I knew already, because at the time that I was doing Zentangle, I was also doing a lot of painting. I was taking classes in Fleischer's art school in Philadelphia, and also the New York Institute. And any artist, and you're an artist, you're doing a painting. This is a diamond painting. It's right there in the language. This is a diamond painting. You are the creator. You are the artist. You may look at your canvas and say, you know what? I want to enhance this canvas. I want it to be more personalized. Whether you do or you don't, I'm just trying to express the point to you that you are the creator. And I believe in my heart and soul that every time a painter, from no matter who it was, Leonardo, Michelangelo, I believe that every one of us approaches that canvas with a new beginning. So I'm not worrying about where I left off at, because where I was when I did this is not where I am now. I looked at my canvas and I, as you can see, a lot of black drills. What I do is, tip number one, I look for my symbols that are painted. I would say painted because I have paint in my head, that are printed in white. There's your first clue for where your shading is on your canvas, on your painting. Every painting starts with a sketch, and then a painting starts with color, and then it goes into bringing that painting to life by carving out your shading and your light. So anything printed with a white symbol is going to be where your shading is. Now, when I sat down to look at my canvas, I knew it was going to start with black because that's all I saw were those little black dots. But I was trying to set up my tray, and I said, well, the next color that I'm going to then get ready for filming is this color here, the arrows going up. If I'm going by my, and now that's the way I would have done it. But now that I am really incorporating this system, my system, into my diamond painting every day, whether it's confetti or not, I have my black down. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to work the borders of the canvas. Where are my white symbols? They're here on the Y. See that Y? And I'm going to, even though this was a big part of what I did here, now I usually don't take this big chunk of diamond painting to diamond paint, but I'm working what is next to this black. I'm only worried about, I'm not worried, I hate to say that, I'm not worried. I'm only concerned with, and this is going to be what makes, this is what makes confetti now easy for me. I'm not looking all over my canvas. And I think that this is why when diamond painters, I've listened to a lot of diamond painters when I was on my own journey looking for tips to diamond paint confetti easier, and every diamond painter would say, what do you see first? Well, if you have a confused mind like mine that gets overwhelmed, I see everything. It just looks like a bunch of ants on the canvas. What do you see a lot of? And then I listened to another diamond painter that said, just pick what you see and then diamond paint all that as quickly as you can. Well, I understood where she was going with that. She was looking for a way to jump off. You know, she was looking for a way, I believe, to get as many of the drills done so that you didn't feel as overwhelmed. But then what? And there was no answer. It was like, well, then pick the next one that you see the most of and diamond paint that really quick. So I was sitting here thinking about it. And when I leaned back in my chair, the angle that I was looking at my canvas started to reveal to me parts that were shaded. These little islands started to pop up. And I thought, well, gee, Lee, you're a painter, and you've done colored pencils, and you've done shading and light. Of course, that's it. Don't worry about what the background of the canvas is, the color. Pick up where your shading is. And that's how I started to really fall in love with confetti. And then, it's always the usual suspects that are around the shading. Now, that's not true, sometimes true, for every diamond painting. So you approach every diamond painting with a fresh eye, even if it's the same diamond painting. When I get done this square, I'm going to go over to this square. It's going to be different. Maybe. With this particular painting, every square that I did was different. So if I'm going by my own theory to pick up the Y's, because that's where the next shading is next to this black, if I look at all the black and I'm just looking for those Y's, I don't really see that many of them. Is there another color that I see bordering the black? Well, yes, I do. I see a lot of these L's. So rather than take the blue here, I'm going to go with what I see more of. I'm going to go with the Y's, and we're going to get started with our shading. This actually could be a whole other island here on its own. But it was interesting that I thought, well, I'm going to kit up and I'm going to do this color here. And it's really not bordering the black. So we want to stay within our borders. It's kind of like, when you were a kid and you colored and you made an outline and then you filled in so that you didn't go outside of the line, but then your next color was right up against that line. So that's the same theory. Now in here I have a bunch of 4s. So with this particular canvas, it's helpful, but it's not going to be as true as I've seen with my other canvases, where colors of shading tend to group together over and over. But I'm going to pick this L right here. And that's where we're going to get started. How is everyone? Boy, Bud has not been out for a while, and I will tell you how I know. I found a lot of my stuff that I've been looking for, especially I found this putty. I'm not really good at keeping my putty together. I found this putty, and I believe it's like a fireside marshmallow, and it's my favorite one, and it's Foofy's favorite one. And every time I would open this up, he would smell it, and he would come over thinking that I had a treat. So this has not been out for a while. Marshmallow fireside probably is from the fall. So let me find my little L here. Here he is. And I'm going to put him in one of my little confetti. Now, if I was going to set up, which I don't think that I am, because there's a lot of this color, I would mark this. I'm going to mark it anyway. Now, I'm looking at it this way. Well, this is the L. This is what I know. This is the L. But that could, to me, can also look like an arrow, but that's the L. Is it an L or is it an arrow pointing down? I don't know. And I'm going to get started here. Here we go. And we begin again. I'm gonna work right to left. Maybe I'll just stay in this section here. I don't know. We'll see. And that's the other thing. I really don't make a lot of plans, but I was telling you guys that I am using Diamond Art Clubs. This is a Diamond Art Club painting by Peggy Collins. It's called Bud. I'm using, again, I keep pulling this guy out. He keeps saying, "Don't give up on me," and I do like him specifically for Diamond Art Club drills. So he's behaving himself. Very nice. I do like him for Diamond Art Club drills. He just, I don't know, keeping it in the family. So I hope that explanation in the beginning wasn't too long. I am going to put a timestamp if you're just like, hey, I want to see the diamond painting. But I would encourage you to, if you do have a desire to learn, I mean, for me, or if you have a mind that works like I do, and I think I go on and on in a way, because not that I go on and on. I think I try and be very detailed in my explanation because I'm trying to explain how I came up with the concept, and I'm also trying to explain to you how my brain works and, you know, why did you even think about this, you know? So that's what I'm doing when I'm explaining. And I have a desire to teach. I always had a desire to teach. I was always the kid walking around with the composition book. You know, this is something else that I do. I'm in this area and I'm just, again, I get overwhelmed. And so even though I chose to do this big of a spot, I can find a way to make it work for me. And I can make it work by just using my diamond painting tray as a way to filter everything else out. And did I miss any of those L's anywhere? It just makes it easier for me. My peripheral vision is not coming into view. Just, here we go. I'm going to start here now, and then I'll work my way down. So my peripheral vision is not coming into view, and I can really use this as a way to filter my space without having to cover my canvas. It's, you know, for as overwhelmed as I get, I find it, I'm so interested in the fact that my brain is like, don't cover the canvas. We want to see the canvas. I think I might need some new, I think I do. I think I've worn this out with the black this morning, and I want to continue to use my putty. I try and keep it very flush, good cut, and, you know, even like tap it on your pants or something and dirty it up a little bit. Okay, let's see. I love this scent, and I believe I got this from, where? I got this from Etsy. I was trying to think of the name because I sell on eBay also, and I'm like, no, it's not eBay, it's the other E. It's Etsy. Yeah, so I sell on eBay. You know, a lot of my vintage stuff I'm letting go of, and, you know, my son doesn't want it. He's like, Mom, it's old. I'm like, it's old, but it's valuable, Josh. You know, and a lot of the things that I collected were from my time in New York when I would go down to Hell's Kitchen, and they had an awesome, oh God, they had an awesome flea market. And if that's your thing, boy, you could have had a ball. Did I dirty this putty up too much? I'm not getting any pop. That's what I like about Diamond Art Club's putty. I really should have kept it in the family. I'm going to have to look for my Diamond Art Club putty. Guys, I have spent the majority of this week, there it is. There's that pop I like. The majority of this week just looking for things. Oh my God. I just went looking for my Diamond Art Club putty, and I have like a little thing that I keep on my desk that is like, this is what you use every day so you don't lose your mind looking for things. And I couldn't find it, and I had to go upstairs in my art room. I bought the Peanuts gang because they're going to go on a road trip with me, and they were individually wrapped, and I have like 11 Diamond Art Club kits with the new putty pen and putty and tray, and wow, you know, just, oh, so much. I'm like, it's going to be easier for me to just go upstairs and open up one of the kits and pull the putty out of there, because I can't waste any more, I can't burn any more daylight being non-productive. And every time I put putty in my tip, I think about a diamond painter saying to me, oh, you don't put putty in the tip, you put wax in the tip. And here's Diamond Art Club with a diamond pen with putty in it. I do like their putty. I do like it. I like that it's unscented. It feels a little hard when you take it out, but it gives right away. It has a nice, I like it. It has a nice texture for me. So here's an L that I missed. Just reviewing my work. I'm moving down here. And I will leave these drills in here because, again, I like being able to just lean over and be like, oh, I forgot one of the L's or the arrows or whatever this sign is here, symbol, and just being like, boop, there you go. I don't like digging through my drill tray, especially when I'm filming. I don't like having to, pause to go get the drill tray back out, the drill container out, and then, you hear all that racket in the background, because this is a meditative process and you can fall into it, kind of, it's hypnotic in a way. You're really, I hate to say that you're not thinking, of course you're thinking, but you're not really thinking about where you have to go next. It's all mapped out for you, but it's still very deliberate in the way that you're working. And so I'm just using my tray. I'm like, oh, there's an L there. Okay. And that was the thing with confetti for me. It was the hunting around for the symbols, but I always loved the effect. And I always thought like, I'm never going to be able to enjoy confetti because, I don't have the patience for it, or I'm not organized enough for it. I get overwhelmed. I get frustrated. I have anxiety. There are certain, I don't know if I ever brought this up before, but I think anxiety can really manifest in a lot of different ways. And I was telling John that when I look at certain patterns and stuff, things that have holes in them, and I briefly heard that it has a name, which really, surprised me and shook me too. But like things that are like very uniformed and have holes in them, kind of like can put me, like I can feel my heart start to race. It's just so bizarre. So I think I was getting like that with confetti, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do confetti. Well, I fell into confetti surely by accident with Lady and Boa and Feather Hat. And, that's a beautiful painting. It's one that I had custom done. And of course, I couldn't wait to finish it. I just thought it was like a lot of color blocking. And I just fell into this patch of confetti, and it was a big patch, because I was working big areas because my campus had a lot of color blocking in it. Not that that's any easier. I think color blocking too can be overwhelming, especially with black drills that you're trying to line up. I did a lot of fussing with her boa because it was just rows and rows and rows of black. But I picked up a few tips there that I'll be happy to share with you on one of my Technique Tuesdays for that too, for color. People don't think that you need tips for color blocking, but I have a few. And I'll be happy to share them with you. So when I got to this confetti patch, I was like, I felt myself getting very anxious. I found myself putting the drill container back, thinking that I had finished, finding a drill, putting it back. Oh, wait, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. Oh my God, there's a whole patch that I missed. And so that's what had me really sitting down and saying, I want to be able to do this, because when it was done, it was so gorgeous. My shoulders and ears were touching. I had a headache. My eyes were tired. I'm like, there has to be an easier way to do this. And I want to make it fun. I want to enjoy my time. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. Was it 4? Yeah. And I really couldn't sleep. And I'm like, just get up, go into your art room, roll out the yoga blanket, and, see what comes up. It might just be that you just do a yoga practice. It might be that there's something on your mind that, now that you're quiet and still and you're not really trying to sleep, maybe, something will come to your mind. And it was just that my body was tired, but my mind is always, creating. And I'm like, come on, mind, you have to rest. You have to give me a rest. I can't keep up with you all the time. And, after I fell into my meditation, and I'm a yoga teacher also, and I love yin yoga. After I did a few postures where you're just letting your body open up on its own, I was like, this has been so enjoyable that I want to do it again. And to do it again, I have to go to bed early. Well, that was the thing. I went to bed very early last night. The boys were watching the football game. I made them chicken wings, and I was like, adios, you're on your own. And I went upstairs and I started to watch The Empress on Netflix that I really enjoyed. And but I was getting tired. I was getting tired, and I fell out. And then if I fell out about 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, 2, 2:30, 3 o'clock, I got up. And I was like, this is not enough sleep. And then I started to do things. I started to edit the Technique Tuesday video. And then my earbuds died. And so the volume came on. And I woke John up. And I was like, oh, let me just get out of bed and give him the bed so that he can go back to sleep. He has to go to work today. But then he was like, no, surprise, I'm home. I didn't want to tell you. Why wouldn't you want to tell me? He's like, well, there was just so much going on. And, there's one on top of the other. And he said, the annual that you had me give back for your birthday, I'm going to use for mine. So his birthday's tomorrow. My hubby will be 60 years old, 60 years young, absolutely young. John is very young at heart. And I was like, I'm just tossing and turning in this bed. You shouldn't really try and force anything. Mostly, I think the greatest thing that you shouldn't try to force is your sleep. And I got up and I did that yoga session, and I was just like, I want to do this again. And so, well, how do I do that? Well, if you want to get up at 4 a.m. when the world is quiet, because I love 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Oh, that's my jam. Then you're going to have to go to bed early. And not only did I get my yoga session in, I fell back to sleep in my bed, and John came in. He's like, does the princess want coffee this morning? And I'm like, well, I thought I was dreaming. I smiled. He's like, oh, that's nice. You're smiling in your sleep. And I opened my eyes. I'm like, why are you here? He's like, I'm home. I'm like, what? He's like, yep. I called in. He's like, I'm going to take my annual. I only have like another couple months before I retire. And so I'm going to enjoy the time that I've worked for, of course. So, and I was like, how cool, because, you know, you ran into your friend Richie, who's here from Florida, and, what letter is this? Where's my container? 3371. You ran into Richie, and you would not have been able to do that if, you know, you were at work. I'm going to pause you guys while I open this up and get some more drills in my container. Here we go. So I just put some drills in, and I'm going to pick out all the ones that are just, well, he escaped. If your drills are not lining up in your tray, they're not going to line up on your canvas. So if your line is not straight, like this guy here, who's got the tab on them? I think it's you. Yep, see how my line went straight there? If they're not straight here, they're not going to be straight here. So, another tip for you, just take a second. And then I'm really so excited to show you the full scope of what this looks like once you work your borders. And all you have to do is look at your darkest drills, which are usually your black ones, or black, brown, or maybe gray. But if they're the first drill going down, they're going to be the darkest one on your canvas, or in that square that you're diamond painting. And make it so much easier on your eyes also, especially when you can cancel out any of the symbols that are printed in black, because that's where your light is coming in at. We're working the shadows. Okay, well, I have some more here. See what I mean? Gotta use my little tray. Gotta narrow it down. There we go, right there. I don't want to have that in your way. You can just relax to the meditative sound of popping putty. That's the other thing with Diamond Art Club putty, is that if I go to pick it up because it's stuck to my canvas, it comes up, whereas other putties, they just stick there. Drives me a little nuts. And I'm wondering if it's the essential oils that are missing from this putty. Anyway, let's look and see what we have created here with our shade drills. We have our black, we have our brown, and now you just have to focus on these areas. What is working the border? You can go inside, you can go outside, but I'm going to stay with my inside colors because they are white, and so I see like these little paw prints seem to be shadowing the brown areas. See? Right here, right here. Here they are here. Just look at your brown drills that you just put down, or whatever drill you just put down, and you're going to see there's all my little paw prints. Here's a bunch of them right here. So I'm going to work them next. So I'm going to start working these little paw prints here, and I'm only going to concentrate with where I've been, and it's going to lead me to where I'm going. Because the thing about shading is you're carving out what you've already colored in, and you're bringing light or you're bringing shade onto those colors that you've already set down. And it's almost like a brush stroke also. So I'm going to go quiet, and I'll play some music for you guys too. Okay, so I worked my borders. My islands are getting bigger, right? We're starting to fill in here. So we have black and we have brown. What I see next are these little slash marks around the borders of the brown. What else do I see? Well, slash marks, slash marks. I have to stop calling them slash marks and call them backslashes. Right, or wait, oh wait, backslash is this way. A forward slash. There we go. Let's call it a forward slash. Slash sounds so violent. And that's going to be the next one that I'm going to start filling it in. And you're starting to see how everything is starting to just fill in nicely. Your eyes don't have to be darting all over the place. Now, I was thinking of something. Well, you know, you might say that there's like an arrow here. Well, you could do that, but that's going to be your light, right? We're not working light. We're working whatever's printed in white. That's my shade. So that's where I'm going there. Down with my shade colors. I'm going to go with those. Okay, we're on to our next color. What's it going to be? Let's look and see where the shading is. What color was that one actually that I just worked with? It's a different shade of brown, it's a darker brown. This might be cocoa brown that I'm looking. So the next shade color that I can see could be either 4 or 7, but I'm going to stick with my light brown. I'm going to work the 4s first. I'm going to go quiet again. My husband is practicing, and you're not going to want to hear him singing in the background. So I will play you some music so that you can continue with your own meditative whip. Here we go. My husband stopped singing, so I am going to go with the 7 because there's this kind of island of 4s. So the 7 would have been the right call. 7 it is. On a break. You can see I'm not really even looking anymore with my eye. The canvas is starting to dictate, and it's actually starting to move me in the direction that I need to go. I'm not even really looking at my colors anymore. I'm just kind of flowing with the diamond painting. Again, while he's on a break, do you see how I'm using my tray here? I'm using the size of the tray. So you saw me go this way first, and I only went up to the height of the tray, and then I'll move along this way. So I'm using the parameters of my tray to also guide my eye and what to look for without really thinking about it. Back to the painting. To my next color, and that is going to be my 4s, and it seems like we're going to have one accent color of a really dark shade here, of a darker shade, and that's going to be the Y's. Not many. Here's one, its own little island, but that's going to end it for our shade colors of this nice big block that I was able to take because I'm a little bit more confident with this system that I developed of diamond painting, and I'm just relaxed. I'm relaxed. I'm able to use my tray as another trick to just not have my eye wandering everywhere, but without having to use, in this instance, a piece of release paper. I'm using this to really look over. And I have to say, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 colors that I put down already, I had to go back and say, oh, I missed something. And that just makes me so happy. So happy. Let's get on with the next color. shade color because I only have one color left that is a symbol that has been printed in white. So let's get this accented shade color out. It's a beautiful blue. I hope it looks like that inside on the canvas too. Oh, it does. Look at that. What a colorful shade color. It kind of reminds me of like a stormy sky. Oh, so pretty. Let's get this down. Come on. I'm not even going to clean out another drill case because I just want to get this on here. I love fresh putty, but until it settles down, where it gets into your little single placer correctly, and your ends, and it gets a little dirty. Oh, I love this color. I love anything that's like gray based in color. Gray greens and gray blues and gray purples. I don't know how much time I've spent diamond painting because it's my intention for future me to speed this up so that I can cover a lot of ground with you guys. And I will tell you, I have a pen and paper out next to me because I have a whole new set of tips coming. Oh, I'm overwhelmed with tips. I was like, let me sit down and really think, like, what do I want to do with Tip Tuesday and what tips do I want? And I sat down and I had quite a few that I don't think I've ever gone over with you guys. And just through this diamond painting session, I've come up with like 4 more. That's just the way my mind works. And, you know, I love to teach, and I don't know if I told you guys, but there was such a great response to Big Magic, which I do on Self-Care Sunday, and I didn't know if you guys were going to receive it or not. And my members were sending me messages in the member lounge, the little cafe lounge that we have going on over there, and you guys were just like so receptive, and it made me so happy because I love Elizabeth Gilbert. And, you know, Big Magic is partly responsible for me devising this confetti, you know, diamond painting technique that I'm doing because, you know, as a new diamond painter, you know, that people were diamond painting for a long time, way before me, and especially during the pandemic. I was like, you know, starting a channel. What am I going to teach, you know, that hasn't already been taught? And that's fear speaking to you. And the first few pages of this book that I'm reading to my subscribers and members on Self-Care Sunday, Big Magic. There's a very comical way that Elizabeth Gilbert went about dealing with her fear, because fear and creativity go hand in hand. And she gave a long list of all the things that we're afraid of when we're creating. And basically it had to be about 25 definitions of, you know, why fear comes along and why you think that you can't do something that's already been done, and like, what do I have to offer? And that was my thinking. And you know, Elizabeth Gilbert, the same way when she sits down to write a book, and she's like, listen, you know, I have my muses here in the car with me going on this road trip, and you're allowed to come along, fear, because you play an important part. And she does explain why fear is important. And it's just, for me, it's just the whole yoga thing. It's yin and it's yang, right? The two energies come together to create a balance. And, you know, she said, listen, you know, creativity is going to be riding in the front seat with me, and you're going to be in the back seat, and you're not allowed to touch the radio, and you're not allowed to touch the temperature in the car. And you, most of all, are not allowed to drive. And that just resonates with me. And if I would have kept with that thinking of, well, what do I have to offer? There's been so many diamond painters. They've been doing this for years. They have thousands of followers. What can I actually bring to the table? Because I love to teach. I don't just love to learn. I love to teach, and I love to give you all. Like one of my other teachers, my yoga mentor, had said during our teacher training, I give you all. What you do with it is what you do with it, you know? So this has been our session for I'm so amazed that I did this big block and I didn't have to washi tape it off, and I didn't have to use my release paper, and that I was able to do all the shading. And I only missed one drill that I showed you over here. Okay, so I zoomed out, I cleaned up my desk so that we can get a shot of what this looks like from far away. This is the canvas, so pretty. I love my Bud as much as I love my Foofy. Where is he? He's been sitting here the whole time watching me diamond paint. Let's get close again. Here we go. Going for a ride. So all our shade is in, as you can tell. Let's see here. We have nothing but black lettering left. And so that is where all my light colors are going to come in. And I'm going to keep with the same technique that I'm using. I just put this blue down so I could work my arrows. And then after the arrows, I would work these percentage signs, and then I would work these in the middle. And it just starts to close the gaps up. And you can even actually, if you wanted to, take this, you know, section by section. You have these little oceans here now, and islands, and you're going to fill in the ocean is what you're going to do. And I am going to do that next week with you guys on next week's Tip Tuesday. We're going to close this gap. Well, Tip Tuesday, well, this is really confetti. Hello, am I in the shot? This is really confetti chaos, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to close this gap of light here. And then this whole block is going to be done. Now, I mean, I'm an hour here, and I think I had a little bit more time when I stopped the video. My husband started performing, so, and I restarted a new video. Oh, I spoke too soon. There's a 4 here. But you know what? This was already done. So how about that? How's that for a testament? How's that a testament for a testament? Because I was not using this technique all the time I was diamond painting, and I forgot one there, and I know that I would not have forgotten it if I was using my technique. So how's that for a testament? I saw one sticking up too. I have another tip for you guys. So this would be the part that was on top. Thank God I had it marked. Okay, so one thing about this cellophane that's good, we're going to close with a tip too, is you can actually feel very easily. Oh, here it is. I couldn't find it with my naked eye, but there it is. It's right there. You can actually feel very easily with this. And here's another one. Here's another one right here. It's sticking up. Here's one. Oh, I love that we're ending with a tip too. So don't throw this away if you cut it off. I mean, I'm an old time, like I said, old time crafter, and everything is to be used. There's really not any scraps, and if I'm surprised I even threw this away, because I do use this technique a lot for my diamond painting. I run this over my canvas to see if there's anything sticking up. I could find it up. It's really very sensitive. Try it. Just try it. You know, maybe you'll try it. Maybe you say, oh my gosh, yes, she's right. There is. I can feel it very easily where my drills are sticking up at. There you go. I actually do keep a piece in my little side table that I have here. That's it, kids. That's it for me. The hubby is home. I don't know what's next on our agenda, but I will see you, as always, in the next one. Keep creating that world that you want to live in. I am doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. And I will see you, as always, in the next one. Tomorrow's Whip Wednesday. That means Woman in Gold. Throwback Thursday. Not too late to vote. Go vote if you want to have a vote in. I think it's going to be Rico. It's always Rico.